Welcome to the Daily Influence, where our mission is to deliver a daily dose of positive influence that can uplift you personally or be shared within your sphere of influence. While not every episode may directly apply to your unique circumstances, we strive to provide insights and inspiration relevant to most people's daily, weekly, and monthly lives. Whether you are tuning in during the morning, noon, or night, the Daily Influence is here for you. Listen, share, and embrace the power of influence in your life.
Welcome to Daily Influence. I'm Gregg-Brooke Koleno. Thank you for making us a part of your routine. In this podcast, we explore the stories of amazing individuals who spread positivity and make a difference. Join us as we uncover the inspiration, challenges, and impacts of their journeys. Today, we have Patrick from Proceed Innovative. Patrick, thank you for joining us today.
Thank you for having me, Craig. What an honor. What a pleasure it is to join you for the Daily Influence.
Thanks. Patrick, can you share a little bit about yourself with our listeners?
Of course. My day-to-day, I'm part of Proceed Innovative. We're a family-run digital marketing agency, so I've had the pleasure of joining my mom in her journey. She started the business in 2007, really focused on and working with business owners looking to transform their businesses online, amplifying what they're doing, and getting more successful. On a personal front, I live out in Chicago in Lakeview. I'm married and overall feel happy, satisfied, and a fantastic life.
Thank you for sharing, Patrick, and congratulations on your recent marriage.
Thank you. Thank you.
Patrick, what advice would you give to someone who wants to make a difference but may not know where to start?
Oh, great question. Here, I would advise the same advice that was given to me at a very early age, 15 to 16. Start small. You don't need to do these big grand gestures to change the world. Good advice here, if you notice garbage on the ground, just pick it up. Tell someone random good morning. Ask somebody how they're doing or ask them about a recent vacation and actually listen. Don't just sit there and do it as a filler, but actually care about what they're saying. Other things, I've learned this from a couple of friends. Write a thank you note. Doing something where you're not expecting something back in return is a great way to get started. A bonus point here, this is one that I started employing early on in my career, is every paycheck, and this is great advice for any age, but especially right out of college. Every paycheck, set a small amount aside. Start with $20. $20 every paycheck, and that's purely for charity. And you don't need to spend it right away on charity, but put it aside, put it in a jar, put it in a different bank account, because you'll see that money add up. And now instead of thinking, oh, I need to donate to charity, this is going to come out of my restaurant fund or investment fund, or you'll actually have this money set aside where you'll actively start looking to, okay, I have $200, let's say, set in a charity account. Where can I allocate this fund? And it's super helpful, especially early on in your career. Sometimes people feel like, oh, there's a lot of expenses but the majority of us are making more than we need in that moment. And setting even a small portion aside to help those that aren't is a great way to just make an impact right away.
That is awesome advice. Thank you for sharing that. I love all of it. A lot of really good stuff. Patrick, in your opinion, why is it important for individuals to actively seek opportunities to spread positivity and uplift those around them?
Personally, my opinion is that it makes you feel better. If you're looking at it from a selfish point of view, if you help others and you can make yourself feel better, it's a win-win. Now, that was my opinion for a while. It actually turns out it's a proven approach. There's an author, Arthur Brooks. He wrote a slightly more analytical book called Gross National Happiness. I'll just summarize for all of the listeners instead of going out and slogging through a 6-hour super mathematical statistical book. The main thing he mentioned was, if you want to personally impact your own happiness, provide value with no expected reciprocity. So join a charitable organization, donate your time, donate monetary value, but it truly is proven to impact your happiness immediately. So if you're ever feeling down or feeling like you're out of control, even providing an extra 30 minutes to a charity organization, or just writing a check, going online and saying, okay, Lori's Children's Hospital is down the street, let me donate $100, or somebody's running a marathon, that alone has been proven to improve our happiness when you're providing value to somebody else.
Oh, that's really good advice. Thanks for sharing that. Patrick, can you share any specific strategies or initiatives that you've implemented to promote positivity and make a lasting impact in your personal or professional circles?
Two great points of advice here. So the main challenge with running any business is you surround yourself with top performers. And as a top performer myself and our team, top performers always seem to focus on if you're looking at the world as a gap and a gain, they're focused on the gap. What am I lacking? What do I need to do more? What have I not accomplished yet where they can move towards it? And it's the same thing when you join any meeting. The purpose of a meeting is to provide a solution, which means that you're joining a meeting with a lack that you're trying to fill in that void with the gain of how are we going to solve something. And it's a great way to evolve a business, but it provides a lot of, hey, there's always a lack of something. So in our company, we always start every meeting with my business partner and I, or if we have a team meeting, we start with a positive focus, share something good that's going on. Because it's a good way to, and others have mentioned it as well, it's a good way to start on a high note of, okay, life is good. I got to work safe on time, or I had a recent client call that went really well and they're super excited. And now you're going into this with a positive mindset. And even if a challenge is super difficult or you have to overcome some big challenge that you're faced with, that positivity, now you're looking at it from a better light than, oh, the lack of, the missing of, the gap of, it shifts that focus. And really as a bonus too, for our team once a week, we end the week with, it's called Good Morning Proceed. So we all log in, it's on Zoom, we're all working from home, and it's just, hey, how did your week go? Everybody share a win. We have all the team members vote on whose win or whose nomination blew everybody out of the water, win an Amazon gift card. So it's a great way to say, because it's crazy how many weeks you go through that you forget by the time Friday hits, you're like, oh my God, that did happen on Tuesday. And that was incredible. Because then Wednesday and Thursday fills up your brain with all this noise. So having everybody share, hey, we had this great meeting on Tuesday, or this client reached out on Wednesday to talk about how much their company's growing, or Thursday, hey, we had this challenge and we overcame it and it was a great win. It's a good way to summarize our weeks and put a bookend essentially to what we've faced, and help all those high performers that are always focused on the gap instead of the gain, help them at least positively impact their mindset with a little bit of win and gain at the end of the week.
Those are really two great pieces of advice. I love always starting with a positive. It kind of sets the tone for any meeting or whatever you're going into, but also celebrating the wins. There's so many times you're absolutely right that we're always focusing on the negative versus why don't we focus on the positive?
It's
I love
important.
that. Yeah.
It's important. I do want to give a shout out. So I stole this from Dan Sullivan, strategic coach. They do this all the time. So we didn't come up with this. The Good Morning Proceed winners, we might have put our own spin on it, but definitely impactful, especially with we have a mixed team of in-office and virtual, and you want to keep that connection with all team members so they know they're being valued. And especially during COVID, when we're all virtual, it started with, let's log in and see each other. So this is, I would highly recommend this. It's cameras on, it's once a week, it's 15 minutes. Everybody gets to talk. So it's, hey, we do a little bit of team updates. We do some, here's who's going to be off, or here's a team event that's coming up. But then it's everybody share your win. So you hear team members express what they've done, which is a great value add for other team members to hear, oh my God, they did this, I did this, like look how much we're achieving. Even when during the week, it could feel like sometimes you're in the middle of a tornado and you're just trying to make it through.
Great. Thank you for sharing that advice. I hope to our listeners, implement some of these items. Patrick, how do you maintain your own sense of positivity and motivation, especially during challenging times or when you're faced with negativity?
It's still a work in progress. This is definitely not a completed journey. It's relying on the people around me. So my business partner and I always discuss challenges when we have them. My wife and I, if we've had challenging weeks, we always use an opportunity to just communicate what's going on. Because sometimes having somebody filter what's going on, they give you a good spin on it. Also, framing is important for me. One of I actually have two different framing strategies I've started using that you're free to steal. The first one is I always visualize myself at the end of my journey, 80 years old, sitting on a beach and thinking about and knowing that in retirement, you're going to have this opportunity to relax, but also you might be craving that opportunity to go back in time and be 30 years old and be dealing with some crazy, challenging client situation where the pressure's on, you have to solve it. And just visualizing, man, at this point, it might be challenging, but who knows, 50 years from now, I might be craving that, like, oh man, if I could just go into an office and solve something today, how thankful I would be for that moment. And then the second one, I mean, MBAs are expensive. I always feel like every week new challenges come up where it's essentially just a free MBA program. There are things that you're going to learn in any higher education that you're dealing with today. There are things that you're actually able to learn on the fly. And hopefully all of the listeners have that opportunity in their career of challenges come up and you can either look at it as, oh, why is this happening to me? What a challenging situation, or looking at it as like, hey, I'm getting free education. Not only free, you're getting compensated to figure something out. So you should be really appreciative of having those challenges because it's helping you evolve as a human being and you're getting compensated. Like it's a win-win. It's interesting. It's definitely, it's something that I use on my weekly or monthly or daily basis when challenges come up. But those two things really help frame challenges and hopefully shift them into a more positive mindset than just another challenge that we're faced with.
What cool perspectives. Reframing for both of those. That's really good advice. Thank you for sharing that.
You're welcome, Greg.
Patrick, what message or words of encouragement would you like to share with our listeners who aspire to make a positive difference in the world?
I'll come back to the beginning of this podcast. Start small. Literally pick up a piece of garbage. Tell somebody good morning. Ask somebody how they're doing. Somebody that you see often but might not talk to. Just listen to them. See what they're up to. Start small. Donate $20. Anything. It doesn't happen all at once. It happens as this the layering effect of you do one thing and the next thing you say yes to something. You're like, oh, do I really want to wake up on Sunday and go and say yes, figure it out after. But that little action can definitely push you to a more positive, influential mindset.
Great advice. Patrick, thank you so much for joining us today and sharing all this awesome advice with us. I really appreciate having you here.
Awesome. Thank you, Greg. Thank you for having me. And thank you to the listeners. It's a fantastic show and a great opportunity to spread some positivity.
Thank you. If you want to get in touch with Patrick, we're going to put his LinkedIn information in our show notes. And thank you for tuning in to Daily Influence. We hope you found today's episode inspiring. If you enjoyed it, please subscribe so you never miss an episode and share it with your family, friends, and coworkers to help spread the positivity. We appreciate your support and look forward to sharing more stories of positivity in the future. Thanks for being part of our community. Have a great day.